Hey guys, Mike here. So today, I'm here to talk to you about Wonder Woman 1984. In this review, I'll be going over a brief summary of the plot, my quick thoughts about the film, and whether or not you guys should go and see it. So I'm going to try and keep this review spoiler-free. However, if you don't want to know anything about the film, and you want to go in completely blind, then it's just come back to this video once you've seen the film. So with that, let's get started, shall we?
It's all art. That's just a trash can.
It's just a trash can. Yeah.
So Wonder Woman 1984 stars Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, or Diana Prince. In Wonder Woman 1984, we see Diana going through the 80s, living her life, until one day she discovers an ancient artifact and is revisited by some familiar faces. And so we have Wonder Woman 1984. So guys, going into this one, I was actually really excited to watch it. When I heard that Gal Gadot was announced as Wonder Woman, I was a bit apprehensive because, honestly, I really wanted the role to go to Kate Beckinsale. But then once I saw Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in Batman v Superman, though I don't really think she should have been in that movie, I thought she was great. And then seeing Gal Gadot in her own solo Wonder Woman movie, I thought was great. I really liked the first Wonder Woman movie, and I thought she was one of the better parts of the Justice League movie. So you know what, I was really excited to see her in this movie, even though I thought having another prequel was kind of a bit of a bad idea, because the ultimate problem with prequels is there's not really much you can do with them, per se. I mean, they're kind of ultimately set towards an end goal. There's not really that much you can change about their personalities, because you're kind of limited to the powers that they have from their sequel movie. You can't really introduce anything new. But you know what, seeing that Patty Jenkins had come back as the director, it gave me hope for this film, because I thought, you know what, she did a really good job with the first one. Let's see what she's got with the second one. And you know what? This film was incredibly disappointing. I mean, it's no secret that I love superhero movies. They're pretty much my favourite kind of movies. Pretty much every year since I've been reviewing movies, a superhero movie, well, pretty much a Marvel movie, has been my top pick for a film. Some superhero movies are better than others, obviously. And obviously, as a whole, the Marvel movies are better than the DC movies. But the thing is, though, I really, really want them to be good, because as a kid, one of my favourite cartoons growing up was the Justice League cartoon. Pretty much when I was a kid, Marvel really wasn't on my radar. It's only really when the MCU started that I really started to take note of Marvel. That's not to say I didn't watch any Marvel properties, but when I was a lot younger, DC was the king. And I really want the DC movies to be good like the Marvel movies. That's not to say the DCEU hasn't had any good movies, but it has definitely had more misses than hits. And the first Wonder Woman movie was definitely one of its hits. Really good film. So again, really looking forward to seeing this movie. But then just seeing that this is what they came up with, it's just incredibly disappointing. Alright, let's just get into it. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I still think that she is good, even though she isn't really given the best material in this film. I don't really think that she was phoning it in. She still is a very good Wonder Woman. I do think there are certain points where the movie asks a bit too much of her, because even though I think she's good as Wonder Woman, I don't think that she's the best actress in the world. In the previous movie, she knew what she was good at and she really played to her strengths. And the movie didn't really call too much from her dramatically. But honestly, in this film, it just asks too much of her. In the scenes where it's supposed to be really dramatic and really heartfelt, just wasn't feeling it. I don't know if it was necessarily her performance. I think it was definitely more the story itself that just really wasn't selling me. But still, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, I would still look forward to seeing her in future projects. But I gotta say, one of the biggest sins of this movie has to be Chris Pine as Steve Trevor. I mean, that was one of the only other things I knew about this movie going into it, that he was going to be in the sequel. And I was there just thinking, like, wait, how is he in this movie? He died in the previous one. I mean, spoiler, but you know, the movie came out 3 years ago, so you know. And it's one of the main things that really shaped Wonder Woman's character. The fact that she lost the man she loved, and for 100 years she lived in exile, never really interacting that much with humanity, and only really coming out of the shadows within Batman v Superman when the world really needed her. But obviously this movie kind of forgets that, has her saving people in broad daylight, you know, kind of not really staying away from humanity, are you? But obviously we'll get into things that the film kind of forgot a little bit later on. But let's just get back to Steve Trevor. Honestly, the guy is just wasted in this film. I said to myself, alright, if they can give a good reason for him to come back, or even a good way for him to come back, I'll be on board. You know what, do what you want, just make it compelling and interesting. But nope, movie don't do that. All he is there for is to basically be a MacGuffin or just to be a plot point. He is there for no other reason than for what happens at the end and kind of the overarching message of this film. He's not so much of a character as he is just something that's there. And there are just so many stupid things that are around his character. And normally in movies like this, I can forgive the more silly or stupid or campy things. But because I was just having just not a good time with this movie at all, I just noticed them all and they really dragged the movie down. There were just things that this character and other characters know that they really shouldn't have known or been able to do, or were only able to do because of the coincidences that were created in this film just for no other reason than just get a character from point A to B in the most stupid and lazy way possible. And as well, Kristen Wiig and Pedro Pascal, obviously good actors, but they are just completely wasted in this film. Even though Pedro Pascal is supposed to be the big bad in this movie and supposed to be really evil and irredeemable, and apparently in the director's words supposed to be representative of Donald Trump, really, you get none of that. Especially not the whole Donald Trump thing. Apparently she said something along the lines of that this character was inspired by Donald Trump, but I'm there like, in what way is this character supposed to be Donald Trump? I don't know. I don't really want to go too much into that. But kind of towards the end, he ended up being a bit more of a sympathetic kind of character. Obviously, the whole movie's message was supposed to be around this character. I mean, I felt what they were trying to do, but ultimately, it just really didn't play off that well. And honestly, I feel that Kristen Wiig's character was only there to basically have a character that's in the comics, in the movies. That's really all it is. I mean, a lot of the things that happen to a character were just so cheesy and stupid. Honestly, I feel that if you pulled this character out of the movie, it would just play out the exact same way. And there are so many other things in this film where they try and do a bit of a character switch or do something that was in the first movie but play it out a slight different way. I mean, what I want to talk about is the getting dressed scenes. In the first Wonder Woman movie, Diana has to try on different clothes to find the one that will best suit her but also conform to the world that she's stepping into. Obviously, Diana could just say, nope, I don't want to do that, and just basically kick everyone's ass and just do what she wanted. But obviously, she doesn't do that because she wants to gain allies through cooperation. And the best way she feels that she can do that is to kind of just listen to some of the rules that she's being told and just kind of work with the people around her. And also, it's kind of a clash between her warrior nature and the conformist way that women had to be within the 1910s. But in this film, they have Steve Trevor trying on clothes and Wonder Woman kind of guiding him through that. And it's there for no other reason than just to be, haha, Steve Trevor's trying on funny clothes. I'm just like, again, another scene that's there just to be stupid and funny. And really, it's only stupid and not funny. This was just a painful scene to watch. But actually, going a little bit back to the Steve Trevor thing, I said that if they brought him back in an interesting way, then I would have been on board with it. But the way they bring him back is just so ridiculously stupid, and it hardly even gets addressed at all. Basically, instead of just bringing him back as Steve Trevor, the movie instead says that his consciousness gets put into a random person's body, and the reason we see him as Steve Trevor, Chris Pine, is because we see him through Diana's eyes. And they rarely even address the fact that he's basically stealing someone's body. And there were just so many other things around this which was just completely stupid. And like I said, as a whole, just Steve Trevor was completely pointless and incredibly wasted. But then I thought maybe one of the things that could really save this movie was the action, because one of the highlights from the first Wonder Woman was definitely its action. But then the action was just another thing to add on to this incredibly disappointing film. The action was just uninspired, uninteresting, and just awful to watch. So yeah, couldn't even have any good action either. And I say one of the biggest sins about this film is that it's just boring as hell. This has got to be one of the most boring superhero movies, probably one of the most boring movies I've ever watched in my entire life. Overall, guys, Wonder Woman 1984 is just terrible. Honestly, I wanted this movie to be good. I love superhero movies, and I really want the DCEU to actually start building up momentum and actually start being good. But movies like this just set it back so many years. Hardly anything about this movie is worth mentioning, or actually even worth seeing. This movie is just so inconsequential at the end of the day that you can just skip it and you'll be fine. It simultaneously does nothing for the franchise and hurts it at the same time. This movie manages to hurt the whole franchise by being so cheesy, stupid, and also forgetting things as well. And also, this movie kind of makes it out that Wonder Woman was a bit of an idiot in Batman v Superman and Justice League, because she has things within this movie and also powers which make her even more powerful. So I guess basically she forgot that she had them. But now, as for whether or not you guys should go and see it, honestly, do yourselves a favour and just steer clear of this one. Nothing happens in this film that is worth seeing. The performances are average at best. The story is stupid, full of plot holes, coincidences, and is cheesy and lame as hell. The action just isn't anything worth mentioning either. It's just badly put together, it's uncompelling, and it's inconsistent as hell so many times. So do yourselves a favour and just don't bother watching Wonder Woman 1984. You'll feel better for not watching it. Okay guys, that's my review of Wonder Woman 1984. If you've seen it, what did you think about it? And what's your favourite movie in the DCEU? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments below. Until next time, I've been Michael. See ya!